Hello. This is the third in my series of meditations. And if you've never done meditation before, that's absolutely fine. This is very much for beginners. It'll be completely guided. And if you don't know if this is for you, then maybe just give it a go. There is no way to do this wrong. It's just about having an experience for the next 10 minutes. What is important is that you feel comfy while you do it. So have a good supported seat with plenty of cushions. Ideally with your spine relatively upright. But if you do prefer to lie down, that's fine. But just know you may fall asleep. Well, I always do. And that's okay, because that might be exactly what you needed. So settling yourself in. Closing your eyes or looking down and softening your gaze. And just take some time here. Gift yourself these 10 minutes for this practice. And be curious, so notice if you're telling yourself a story. So we are starting to explore how our mind works, which is weird, I know. So we have different tendencies. So it may be that you tend to have an internal dialogue that's like a radio. So almost like a voice in your head talking. So we're going to call that radio. So while you're here, if you notice a voice starting to talk in your head, can you just gently label it radio? So you're just trying to notice that voice in your head. So rather than being completely blended with it, we're separating ourselves slightly from that voice, noticing it. So it's almost like you're shining a light onto it. You're becoming a witness to that voice. And you're just it's like you're putting a post-it note on it that says radio. Radio. Now, what it could be is that radio is actually got some visual. It might be that it's actually you're able in your head to see images. It might be like photos, or it could be a moving image. Almost like when your voice is talking to you, you're actually almost watching an internal film. Doesn't work in everyone's mind. If that happens, I'd like to call it video. So we have two labels now. So we have an internal talking, which is radio. And we have actual images that are stationary or moving. And we're going to call that video. Video. So just for the next 30 seconds, I'm not going to say anything, but I'd like you to see if you can notice if you have any radio or video going on in your head, in that consciousness of yours. As I draw you back now, and I've hopefully distracted you, what was happening? Was there a radio or video playing? It might be that you were there and you had nothing going on in your head. That's absolutely fine as well. So now we will change the practice slightly, and we're going to take our awareness to our breath. So you are breathing. Sometimes it's weird to draw attention to our breath. But can you notice it? Can you notice yourself breathing in and out? Now, please don't worry if your breath is quite audible or quite harsh, or that's all fine. We're not here to tell a story about your breath. We're just seeing if we can notice it. And then again, we're seeing in our brain if we can add some labels to it. So we're going to see if we can follow our breath with our attention. If you find you're changing the breath slightly as you do this, don't worry. Most people start to breathe a bit slower as they notice their breath. But see on your inhale, as you breathe in, if you can, in your head, so you're not saying this out loud, if you can say in. But every time you breathe in, it's in. And then every time you breathe out, every time you exhale, you label this out. So you'd be breathing in and almost saying in your mind in, and as you breathe out, labeling it out in your mind. I'm going to leave you for 1 minute to have a go at this practice. You will forget what you're doing, and your radio or video might kick in. And I'm really intrigued to see if you can notice. So now I've given you 2 different things to do. So see if your radio or video kicks in, can you actually notice? And can you come back to the labeling of the in and out of the breath? And every time you get distracted, this is exactly what this practice is. It's not that you failed it because you got distracted. I expect you to get distracted. If you don't get distracted, you can't practice it. So just see when you notice, and then bring yourself back. And when you breathe in, it's in. When you breathe out, it's out. When you breathe in, label it in. When you breathe out, label it out. Notice if your radio or video has started. Gently see if you can draw yourself back to the task of labeling your breath. For those following that practice, just let that go now. Take your awareness more generally again. Feel your body. See if you can feel the breath move in your chest or in your belly or both. Notice how that mind is. And very carefully start to bring yourself back. Maybe lifting the head or opening your eyes. Have a little stretch of your fingers and toes. And just see if that practice had any effect, if you feel any different. And definitely don't worry if it didn't either. Well done. And as ever, any questions, please get in touch. Take care.